There's a moment in survival where gear fails and only knowledge remains. That moment has repeated itself across history, from frozen forests in Europe to soaked jungle outposts in the Pacific during World War II. Soldiers didn't survive because they had perfect equipment. They survived because they understood how to turn ordinary objects into lifelines. Today, we're breaking down one of the most overlooked fire-starting techniques ever used in the field, a method born not in theory, but in desperation. This isn't about nostalgia or clever tricks. This is about a proven, repeatable process that worked under the worst conditions imaginable. If you care about real survival knowledge, the kind that holds up when everything else fails, stay with me. Because this one principle could change how you think about fire forever. Understanding how necessity turned everyday gear into survival tools is the key to this method. During World War II, soldiers carried simple kits, rations, ammunition, basic tools, and often a standard double-edged razor blade. That blade wasn't just for shaving. In the field, it became whatever the situation demanded. When conditions destroyed matches and rendered lighters useless, soldiers began experimenting. They realized that the materials they carried every day had hidden potential. A razor blade, combined with foil from ration wrappers, could produce heat intense enough to start a fire. The effectiveness of this method comes down to a simple but powerful principle: electrical resistance. When a circuit is created using a battery and a resistant material, energy is forced through that material. The resistance converts electrical energy into heat. A thin steel edge concentrates that heat into a very small area. Instead of relying on friction, which fails in wet conditions, this method generates internal heat. Moisture on the surface becomes almost irrelevant because the heat originates within the metal itself. This is why the composition of the blade matters. High-carbon steel provides the right level of resistance. When connected properly, the blade would begin to glow along its edge. That glow meant temperatures high enough to ignite tinder. The process itself was straightforward but required precision. A soldier would take thin foil and form two conductive strips. These strips connected the terminals of a battery to opposite ends of the blade. Once the connection was secure, a small amount of tinder was placed directly on the blade's edge. Within seconds, the blade heated to the point of visible glow. That heat transferred directly into the tinder. From there, the ember was transferred into a prepared bundle and carefully nurtured into flame. Applying this knowledge today requires only minor adaptation. Modern materials can replicate these conditions with even greater efficiency. Once you grasp the relationship between conductivity and heat, you gain flexibility, the foundation of real survival. However, this is not a method to approach casually. The heat generated is intense and immediate. Control and awareness are essential. The goal is to create fire safely and deliberately. Fire from a razor blade isn't just about ignition. It's about understanding that survival depends on knowledge, not convenience. Subscribe to The Intelligent Survival for more insights that go beyond theory and into proven reality.